Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. Thank you to my new subscribers, to the old and new. Welcome. Glad you are here with me. Um, Happy Father's Day to everybody. Last night I had a hard time. I was thinking I better not get on here and speak my mind right now because I wasn't in the frame of mind to talk as calmly as I want to talk about this situation. So I heard a story on the so called news. Like this was not a setup against, well, I take it as a personal assault, but then I've been in this situation, so I can speak on it firsthand. But for not the depth of hell this little baby's going to go into. A story about a newborn baby, an American citizen in my state that was adopted by two people, two men from Israel that already have like a 3, 4 year old child. I couldn't tell what gender it was. I think it looked like a girl. I don't know. So anyway, and they were calling it a Father's Day miracle. And for me, it took me half my life, literally, to find my family members. The only family I had were my children, my blood. That's it until I was 34 years old. Then I found out I had relatives on this planet, let alone being taken out of my country. I can't imagine because some people have memories when they're little and other people don't, but I have memories, very early memories. And um I know most adopted children will tell you that they were not nurtured and cared for like people in real families were. It's not the same. I don't care what anybody says, and most adopted people won't. I might have a few that will say something on here. Speak your mind. I've also been in a group home when I started running away, and that was the happiest I ever was with other children that were my peers that we were in. And I started in an orphanage, and I believe in orphanages, state run. Um, that we start as wards of the state anyway because nobody wanted us. So we all have the same mindset. So being together is a plus in a situation like that. It's a loving connection that'll never be broken. Uh, and a citizen of the United States, a newborn, being taken out of our country. There's people here that are waiting for to adopt children. Um, and also, we give money to Israel, and they are at war with other countries. Essentially, we just paid somebody to take an American citizen out of our country and go and do God knows what with this baby to raise as they see fit. Well, it hasn't been sitting right with me. I don't see it as a Father's Day miracle. I see it as the biggest, atrocious abomination on a tiny infant that could ever go through something. And if you had seen, I don't care, I'm going to say it, here it goes. First, it showed like a picture of the two guys and the baby in like a bassinet type thing. Then it showed one holding it and the other one like pawing on it and like sniffing on its body, right in the middle of its body, like Biden sniffs things. And I about flipped. I'm like, fuck no. And then it showed them on the couch with the baby and another little person. They were waiting for everything to be okay with this baby so they could take it back as a family. So the family could go back to Israel. I don't feel too happy about that today. As American citizens, that's one of us. They just fucking sold one of us to Israel. So the Israelites, not Israelites, but the people in Israel, why didn't they adopt one of the Palestinian homeless babies that are right across their border? How about somebody from the Ukraine or Ukraine? You know, yeah, and that begs the question: why? Why? What bloodline is that little Goyim or Gollum baby that they see as soulless to be used as a slave? What is that tiny little American baby going to go through or has already gone through? God knows. But you can believe it's not good. Starting off, how would you like it right now if somebody came and took you out of your country and took you somewhere else and you didn't have a chance of finding or seeing anybody that you were blood related? And you could say, well, they'll help them. No, no, they won't. They could tell that baby that the mother had died or anything, and it would never know the truth. I was told all kinds of things about myself when I was little that came not to be true. And this is a fact, you know. I was also told that they would help me find my birth family when I was 18, and that never happened either. In fact, that they could have started doing that when I was about 14 or 15. That would have been a nice time to be able to look somebody that was related to me in the eyes, as a family member. So I feel like it's the biggest injustice that I've heard for another human being on this planet right now, today. That fucking sucks. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's Sunday and it's Father's Day, but I had to speak on this. This is just doesn't sit right with me, and it's not cool at all on so many levels. Yeah. Well, it is a nice day. It's probably going to be about 90 to 100 degrees when all is said and done, but that's okay. I like warm weather. It's better than freezing. Although I don't really mind getting cold too much. Yeah. Oh, I had a couple of gay jokes for you. I was gonna put it on the outside of the video, but I thought I'd just wait till I got in here. If a gay man is cold hearted, is he a popsicle? If um bisexual people um or I don't know, I was thinking of bicycles yesterday, so like if they're riding bicycles and they have cold hearts, are they bicycles? I don't know. Anyway, just a couple jokes. Because I have a hard time celebrating somebody else doing something that I know physically I have the evidence and medical proof that I've shown people of the dangers of any united DNA in your life. Your genetics change when you come in contact with other people. You carry a part of them with you intimately for the rest of your life. And that will be shared with whoever you're with also. So, and I've got videos with medical proof speaking on candidus and other rectal cancers that people get. And There's a reason we're warned against it medically, let alone spiritually. I mean, if you want to die in your flesh and not actually be born to be who you are in your glorified body, um, I don't know what to tell you. You know, enjoy your grave. I won't say rest in peace because there's no way you could be trapped in the dark with your thoughts and rest. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be forever endless without sleep. That's hard to fathom, you know. This is the closest to hell most of us will get, you know. That's the good news. Although they seem to want to bring it closer and closer every day, it seems, doesn't it? And they're running the younger generation right into the poorhouse. They're taking in my country what we had called the American dream of owning a business or home or land or vehicles or different things in your life. They're putting people in the poorhouse, literally. And I've spoke on this. I made myself comfortable with lots years and years of hard work and even economies that fell through. And the thing I had to do a lot of things that were thoroughly disgusting to make not anything immoral. I'm talking work that I would rather not have done to make my world go around, you know. Even being a dealer up at the casino, that was hard on me. I didn't like people seeing people lose their money. I almost lost it up there one night. That dude was talking to the wrong dealer. He sat there and said, "This is my last 20 and it's my kids' milk money." I'm like, "I'm going to meet you in the parking lot on my break. I'm going to be there in about 20 minutes." Because we would rotate, I think it was every hour and a half or something. We had a 20-minute break because when you're counting numbers, like five, six hands at a time or more, whatever. So, and watching people lose their money like that, and they'd be like, "How are you doing today? Like, are you hot tonight?" And I'm like, "I'm always the house rules," So you might want to go to another table because my luck when I was dealing was for my employer, and I knew how to work the cards and the shoes. And then if somebody was a card counter, they'd just come out with another shoe, or they'd rotate them too in sequences of 4 and 5, and then even like 7 decks in a shoe, what they call the shoe. Um, so we could keep ahead of the card counters. So you had to be pretty genius doing that shit, and it was hard on my brain, but I did love it. Oh, I loved it a lot in some ways. Like if somebody had money to spend in high rollers, that was fun because then you knew that you weren't literally making somebody suffer. They were just doing it. I had one cop lady that would come over from a town called Mora and go to Hinckley, Minnesota, Grand Casino. Um, and her husband would come over on Friday or Wednesday nights and sometimes Friday nights. And they'd play a little, sit down at my table and play a little till their money was gone that they budgeted, and then go eat in one of the restaurants up there and just enjoy themselves. That's the way to do it too. I've gambled before, just before I became a dealer. I grew up with gamblers and that around that, so I was never really impressed, and I could see the damage. I mean, it didn't affect anybody that raised me. They played with money, you know, but So anyway, and I didn't have it nice. No, they treated me like a slave. Secondhand clothes. I started sewing my own clothes. Well, I started sewing when I was 5 with a little Barbie sewing machine on my floor in my bedroom and started making Barbie clothes. And then I started designing and making my own clothes when I became preteen and teenagers and then teenager. And I had some really cute things because of that, you know. So, yeah. But anyway, I mean, I had, well, I mean, like, oh, if it was Sunday and we were going to like Easter Sunday or something where their little Masonic asses had to go impress people, that was different, you know. But just in general, um, they didn't have a connection with the child to try and like, oh, that's a part of me. I'm going to enhance this child and elevate this child, you know. It was not like that. Adopted parents don't, uh, they do not know when you're cold or hungry or tired. I mean, some might, and I know there's adopted parents, don't come down on me, whatever, and ones that foster care and whatever, and step parent. I'm a step parent, and yes, I love my stepdaughter, and I'm always here for her right up until the day I die, with her, without her dad. But so I don't need any schooling on any of those situations. And I've worked with um, uh, disabled children, handicapped children, and emotionally ill children that have gone through a lot of the things that I'm talking about right now today. And so I'm very well aware and educated on these things from all levels. So whatever you have to say, keep it to yourself. It's not a part of the conversation I'm trying to portray. What I am trying to say is they're selling American citizens out of America. And I don't know if the mother died or was on drugs or put this baby up for adoption. It still should not be taken out of its home country, especially America. Why would you take some, put it in a country for people that borrow from us? Not even borrow, we give these um Khazarian Jews, the fake ones, uh money. So they can't even afford to take care of themselves and they're taking an American citizen over there? Are you crazy? Do you support this? Am I the only one that, I mean, if it was like England or Canada, how would you feel if it was one of the little babies in your country? Would you be a little thoughtful about that baby, you know? Wow, unbelievable. I was so pissed last night. Doug went to say something and it wasn't about that baby and I just fucking snapped on him. I'm like, I don't want to hear your shit about whoever. I don't know if he was talking about Hillary or Biden or one of them idiots. And I just went off. And it's like, this is the topic. You know, the children. It's something like 6,000. This is ironic, like 6,682 children a day that go missing in the United States alone in the world. A day. And now they're selling babies right in front of me on TV. Wow. Literally, it was raining out. My internet was down. I thought, the news is on. I'll catch the weather. And that's what I saw. You know, it's like, you bastards. Yeah. Knew the weather was bad too. Knew there was bad weather coming in, and chances are, what? What? One of the strongest mines in my state is going to be affected by what? Something I know is satanic. Fucking bastards. God dang it. Sniffing on that baby and grabbing on it right in front of me. Ugh. Yeah, that was pretty horrible. Even this morning, I told Doug, I go, you're going to have to excuse me. I did do him a Father's Day favor. His cat barfed a couple places and I cleaned it up for him. So he said, that made me happy. So, but I told him, I said, no, the subject today is still that baby going out of our country. That's the topic, you know. That's pretty horrific. Yeah. I've had people that have been adopted and they suck up so hard. They're like, oh, and I'm just thankful. You lying thing. There's not a part of an adopted child. And you can say, and it's either for the money or you have another reason you would say it. There's not an adopted child that does not want to know their relatives. It's like there are a few people where their parents get divorced and the children realize, but even adopted children would like to see their parents together. And that's a feeling that's instilled, I do believe, in everybody. So, but they're trying to make it seem so unnatural, you know, like what this little boy is supposed to just accept or not be told. What? Yeah, whatever. So, what are they gonna, how are they gonna manipulate that little one to make him believe it's all okie dokie? You know, what will they say and do to him? I wonder. They used to sit me, the Masons, on. They had a set of books for adopted children, and I read the ones that they had for pre-adoption and adoption, and all the psychology shit that they had, and then along with all the Masonic stuff they had. But yeah, they're big into psychology. You better bet your sweet butt they are. You know. Oh yeah. They do believe they can control the whole world. I do believe we can. So we're not at an impasse. We're at the part where total exposure is what is needed. And if you hear of any adoptions in your country, like going to basically a third world country, why in the would you take somebody out of what could be the most and used to be successful nation in the world? Yeah, because who really runs the show? That's why, you know, jerks. I say that and a wind comes up and like, anyway, God said, that's right. That's who runs the show. That's why he's having me talk about this today, you know, because people need to meet. We can't do anything but pray, give it a good thought, you know, but to beware about it. And how many children go missing in your area? How many um, women that are on the dope that they let in their borders, and those mothers are having their children sacrificed in this way? I wonder. So yeah, I did a lot of thinking all night long. You know, I thought, well, I know God's going to give me the grace to speak on it because I don't care if I offend anybody in Israel. That's the least of my concern. And people that are of Hebrew, Jewish heritage, my relatives, they know just what I'm talking about too. And it has absolutely nothing to do except with the dark cabal, and that's so disgusting. The things they're doing to everybody all over the world. Oh, yeah, there's a new bug plant in the United States. They get produce 10,000 pounds of ground crickets to put in food a day because they don't want people eating normal things that people eat, you know, unless they're impoverished. Or I heard a couple stories about not just stories, actual charges that were pressed on vegan parents, and the children were eating ants and other bugs outside for protein because their diets were depleted, because they do need the you don't have as much protein in any plant or nut. It's impossible. And the amount that you would have to eat to develop your brain, there's like little 3 and 4 year olds, and they consume way less protein than you do for the first few years. And then after like 5 or 6 again, they'll start eating meat again. But you'll see a lot of little ones kind of weighing off the protein thing. I think we do that in our lives as we grow, but their little minds um, and bones need that to develop strong, um, and that's a fact. So, and this isn't just me saying, this is studies that have been taken medically, and the evidence of those studies are on Sean Baker, MD, if you'd like to look them up. So, the dangers of, or your children, are your children getting enough protein, and do they need animal protein, and those type of things. And what is child abuse, huh? Yeah. Malnutrition damn sure has just about destroyed my life. It can malnutrition you in other ways, like with like a donut. A donut a day keeps Satan gay, you know. I'm just saying that because I had a long john last night, and it about killed me with coconut on it and icing. It's a donut with coconut and icing, and they're like a long rectangle. Like we call them long johns. So yeah, so yeah, I was upset, and I calmed myself down. If I had made a video last night, I don't know how it would have sounded. I'm sure it doesn't sound as nice as I'd like to talk about way like beautiful things in the world, and um go out and show you the sky, or that type of thing. But these things need to be discussed. People need to be aware of all the bad things that are going on, so we can put our minds together to stopping it and controlling it. If more people know, I mean, like I said, if it was a baby from your area, would you flip out at all? Would you even care? Would you even think that that child might miss its relatives. If it didn't have any relatives, would that child miss the area it was born into at all? I mean, I'll just say it like it is. You take somebody from 10,000 lakes with endless beaches and mountains to ski on in the winter and sliding, and you take them over in a desert to abuse, and you're going to try and convince me that this little baby's going to be okay. I'm not convinced. Yeah, I hope somebody opens their big mouth. Go ahead. I'm sure God will give me words for you. Just do it. Before I come off here, get off here, I'll tell you something that yesterday there's somebody that I knew was not teaching the right explanation because he's a baby Mason. Global Witness, Derek Bros. And he had a parting video. I thought, what? He had something and it caught my attention. I don't always watch him. And I made a video about him a long time ago called Global Idiot. And I made one other one about him and his wife selling copper jewelry and the dangers of the toxins. I didn't specifically put their name out on the video. But this one last night, he was saying that, and it could be true in a certain sense, but it's just the way. And I don't know. Anyway, he was talking about how he had went to Mexico, got his teeth done, and him and his wife's problems were about money and whatever. And I'm thinking, oh, no, 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 you little players were not. Um, you didn't go down because of money. That's not why you went down. But I told him, I said, and then he said that, so some women over, or he didn't say some, he said women wanted me to be their husband and, and were jealous of Malia. And I'm like, dude, you'd be a bro at best. And I just didn't like your ex, you know? So I just had to say it like it was. And besides, I said all the like I don't remember the words I used, like shenanigans y'all have done over here, uh, correlating keeping the truth from everybody. I said, I hope God gives you, like the best what you need. you know, I was just waiting for somebody to say something to me, and I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I'm sure he prayed about you. They both did. They prayed about your marriage as much as you did for theirs, right? Whatever. Because I did pray for their marriage because I could see they were so fucked up. It's like just the way they both were acting and dressing and presenting themselves. It's like, whew. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, meet the children of the future, and they have gray hair. Holy smokes. All right, I'm going to leave it on that. I don't know how I'll, people need to know, so I'm going to title this video to make sure people know what happened right an hour away from me in my life to a baby that I cannot help, only in thought. And maybe somehow out here that it would never happen again. So all right, you all, thank you for joining me. And once again, happy Father's Day to you all. And ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.